All right, today we're going to cover the new double base rule in NCAA baseball.
Okay.
We're going to try and do these. Serbia targets protesters with a sound cannon.
I'm intrigued.
And a man escapes 20 years of captivity by his stepmother.
Ooh.
But before that, welcome back to episode 88.
Hey.
We think. We do this every time.
It's a multiple of 11 now.
I ain't pointing at you being mean, but happy anniversary.
Hey.
It's been a year. This comes out.
I think it's fitting we celebrate without Spencer.
I know. That's right, yeah. By the way, Spencer's not here.
Spencer doesn't care. Yeah. He doesn't care.
If I'd have told him we were having cake, would he come?
I don't know. He had cupcakes this weekend. He was bragging about. So
really,
I guess he probably would not have come. Is what I'm trying to say. That might not even been the right enticement for him this time.
So April 6th of last year was our first episode.
Is that the one we laughed till we cried on?
No, that was the second or third episode.
Okay, I was going to say. I remember recording in our other studio, laughing. You had to leave the room. I think you left the room.
I did leave.
Crying.
You got up. Did you not get up?
I think I did. I think I was crying. I know that. I was laughing
you
so
sat
hard.
back down maybe, started back. You started back laughing, caused me to laugh and cry. I got up and left the room.
Oh, that was fun.
And then Spencer called us a bunch of old fuddy-duddies.
Yeah, I know. Apparently we laugh at stuff that he doesn't laugh at.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
So this comes out on the 7th.
Okay.
So that's on a Monday. So the 6th, which was the Sunday, would have been a year.
So happy anniversary.
That's right. How about that?
Way to go.
It went by quick.
1 year. Yeah. We've changed a lot in a year, right? I mean, we went from recording one episode, then 2 episodes, then 3 episodes, and then I lost and went back down to 2. No, I won. I don't even remember my standpoint now.
You won. I wanted to stay with 3, but I'm glad we didn't because I think one of us would have been dead by now.
I think the people voted. The people voted, and they wanted more episodes, longer episodes.
But we couldn't do it.
We couldn't do it.
There's no way.
We can't keep up.
If this is all we did, 5 days a week would be no problem, right?
It's those being a good husband, a father, a good employee, all of those things.
Yeah.
Those take a little bit of time.
They should be first on the list, right?
They should.
Right.
The podcast should not top any of those.
And it seems like when we squeeze this podcast in a little bit in front of that, it always gets pushed back again. So it never gets pushed first.
So.
Unless you ask my wife, and then she'd be like, she hates to hear me talk about the podcast.
She don't want to hear the podcast.
She doesn't want to hear about it.
It's like you coming home and talking about work.
I never talk about work. I talk about the podcast.
Oh, that's
all I talk about.
You know, I kind of get that look sometimes if I get honed in on work stuff. Eventually, I'll get a question that's like strictly personal, and I can tell that the intent of the comment is stop talking about work. I'm tired of hearing about it. You know, so our daughter graduates this year. You want to talk about that? One of those moments ago. Yeah, honey, I think I got you.
But is it you don't realize that you're talking about it so much, or is it that you don't realize that the person you're telling it to doesn't care? I'm leaving your wife out there. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no.
It's kind of like a normal conversation you're having when you're going into something, and you can kind of see that person drift off
where
they
start
like, kind of like looking over here.
Yeah, if you talk about baseball for one more minute, I'm going to be bored out of my mind. Yeah. I think it's, I don't know. I don't know what it would be with this scenario. It's probably that the other person eventually loses interest, or I didn't realize that was all I had to talk about, whatever fill in the blank is.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
It does. We would ask Spencer, but
he lost interest.
Apparently so.
That seemed like that.
Apparently there's more important things than the podcast in his life.
Goodness.
Which is fine. All right, do you want to hear about this double base rule?
Yeah, that's what I was intrigued by that because isn't it opening day when we're recording this? Is it not?
I don't know.
I think it's really close to opening day if it's not opening day in Major League Baseball. I know you're talking about college ball.
Yeah, but I saw this on the news. I saw highlights, and I didn't understand what they were talking about, and so I looked this up. Anyway, after I watched, of course, the video of it, I understood, but this is what it is. A new rule has been implemented in NCAA baseball this season, and it affects an Arizona Wildcats baseball game on Friday against West Virginia.
Okay.
It caused them to lose.
Oh.
The Wildcats ended up winning the 16th inning thriller, but
Yowza.
perhaps would have won the game after just 10 innings. By the way, have you ever been to a baseball game where it extends into extra innings?
Yeah, Major League Baseball. I've never been to a college ball.
Ooh, it's rough. Especially if you're ready for the game to be over with, and then now we're the 10th inning, and you don't know when it's going to happen.
Listen, it's more exciting if they keep scoring runs. Like if it's a battle and they're scoring multiple runs.
Oh,
in an
back and
inning.
forth.
But if it's just like a pitching battle,
Yeah.
it drags on.
All right, so they would have won the game after just 10 innings if not for the wild new double base rule at first base. Now, we're talking about first base. This isn't double base for everything. The double base rule was implemented this season, creating 2 first bases. One is the standard white first base in its traditional place, and there is a colored first base to its right.
Okay, so kind of into foul territory.
Right. So if you want to play that video, we've got a video and audio. So if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see it. I'll put it in right here.
Double base rule in college baseball. Starting this season, the NCAA instituted a new rule by using a double base at first base in an attempt to promote player safety to avoid collisions when the base runner is running down the first base line. The rules are fairly simple. As we see here on a play at first base, the defender uses the white bag, the inside bag, while the base runner takes ownership of the outside or colored bag. Once the runner reaches first base safely, the colored base is no longer usable. Only the inside white base is safe. So in this West Virginia game example, the base runner had already reached base. Therefore, the orange base is no longer safe. It is as if he is off the bag entirely. There are a couple special situation exceptions to the rule, but for the most part, this is the double base rule explained.
All right, so what he's talking about on this game right here, in the top of the 10th inning, Friday night, Arizona outfielder, he dove back to first on a pickoff attempt by the right-handed pitcher. He got back to the traditional first base on time, but when he stood up, he stood on the colored base, which I know in that video it's orange. I've seen their different colors.
That's all one that was green in that video, too.
The first baseman tagged him when he stood up and signaled to the umpire that he was on the colored base and therefore out. The umpire agreed and called him out.
Dumb. That's my first thought process.
But is it not confusing though?
Yeah,
I'm on a bag. You know, I'm not thinking which one it is. I'm at first. I'm not on the second bag at first.
That's what I'm saying. Like the base is the base is the base the whole time, or get rid of the second base.
Right.
Not second base, but the colored bag at first. Get rid of it.
But is it
I
too
understood
big?
the safety aspect of it.
But is that a big issue?
Hadn't we been surviving this for a long time?
I know. But it's not like collisions that we see on a weekly basis during baseball season, is it not? I mean, are we concussions? Is concussions a big deal? Broken arms? What's going on?
I don't remember a whole lot of it being reported. Apparently, there was something where somebody at some point presented this and they said, yes, we need to do it.
Yeah.
So obviously there may be some statistics that we're not aware of, but I didn't see it. I wasn't hearing about it on a regular basis. Now, I know they changed some of the rules about coming into home plate, because I remember when I played Little League ball and school ball back in the day, I remember, you know, when you were coming home, the goal was to take the catcher out. Did you play ball, like Little League ball and that kind of stuff? So that's what I'm thinking. It had to have been.
Because if you're a catcher, I mean, the thing is, if you don't want to get hit, don't be in the baseline.
That's right.
That's the bottom line. I see more of the outfield collisions being more of an issue than a collision at first base.
I mean,
in my mind,
you're more apt to get hit by a line drive. The batter and the pitcher are probably the two that have the greatest risk there on a regular basis, especially the pitcher when he throws and the batter hits one that comes back up the middle, because you got 90 feet or 60 to 90 feet to respond. It's coming back at you quick.
Are we trying to take every single aspect of any type of injury you can have out of every sport?
I guess that's kind of the goal, is to make them as safe as possible. But I don't even know if this one made it all that safe. I don't know that it made it completely different. Do you think so?
I don't think so. I can see an instance where, maybe something would have happened, and then it's a good thing that we had this extra base out there. But then again, it's all, hypothetical. You're just guessing. Well, possibly it could have, saved that guy from getting a broke ankle. I don't know.
It in the bag, 12 inches or so. I'm guessing we're estimating. So you kind of have a little bit of play. Like, base runner can shoot for the outside while the defender's on the inside.
Well, it's just like the first baseman. You're taught you put your foot up against the bag. You're not putting your foot on the opposite side of the bag, towards the dugout. Crazy things like that. Because you know why you don't do that as a first baseman? Because you're going to get hurt.
They're going to step on you.
Right.
They're going to run you over.
So from Little League on, you're taught all these safety
and
protocols.
Plus, it gets you a little bit of room to stretch out. You can push off of it to try to cut down on the amount of time it takes the ball to get to you.
Yeah.
I was taught, I played third base in Little League, and I was taught to cover up the base. Like, you had to leave a corner of the bag. Like, if, say, somebody was rounding the bases and they were headed for third and there was a play coming in from the outfield, I was to drop down on one knee and use the majority of my leg to cover that base and leave them a corner that's accessible. And then take the tag and put it on them there.
Yeah.
So,
it's strategy.
Yeah, it was a strategy, yeah. So, this is a weird one for me. I don't think you should have been called out in that instance. That's in the video.
This, if you saw what I read, it says that the first baseman signaled to the umpire.
Yeah.
He had tagged him and he wasn't on. And I'm like, well, you know what? Let's leave it to the umpire.
Because
he don't tell me.
I tagged him.
Yeah.
I saw it in the video,
Yeah.
And the umpire just jumps on board. It's like,
well, he needs to be paying attention.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know. So
that's a bad way to lose a game in the end.
And this is a bad way to find out about the new base rule. It's because of this controversy. And I wouldn't call it a controversy, but it's kind of like, well, I don't know. You got to retrain all these guys all over again, on what you do when you get to first base.
I'm sure it's like any other rule that's been added along the way. We'll all get along with it. Eventually, we'll figure it out and get on with it and move on. Figure out how to make it work to our advantage eventually. But I don't understand why we're adding bags. So we're going to do this at every one now?
When they add it, will they ever take it away now? No, they will not. Even if, say, what if we have 2 injuries because of that bag? It's something they didn't think of.
It seems like you could trip over it easier, I'm going to say.
Something could happen. So now
you
get 2 players this year that get hurt because they implemented this new base. And are we going to take the base? No, the base is there to stay. Now it's set. You are stuck.
Just adding a second bag at second.
It's like government regulations. Once we get one, it's there.
Did you play a lot of ball, Jody?
I played basketball.
Oh, okay. So I remember them training us on how to slide and be aggressive on your slide, how to use your cleats to your advantage, and that's second base. That was the one that they're going to try to guard. So come in with your cleats hot.
Yeah.
I ended up
trying to tear that second baseman up, aren't you?
Listen, that's what's the goal. I ended up being in the ER from cleats, metal spikes.
Is that right?
When I was playing third base, I was guarding that bag, and the cleats caught the inside of my leg, and the boy twisted his metal spikes into my leg.
See, the name of the game is you want your opponent to be scared of you, right? Same thing as a pitcher throwing, to the batter. I own that plate, and back off, so I might hit you. Everything that's so. That's funny.
Hey, I saw a video. This is from the Atlanta Braves the other day, and they were showing some of the Braves from the late 90s, and they were watching highlights from their games or outtakes. And so I think it's Chipper Jones, Tom Glavine, maybe Greg Maddux, and John Smoltz are listening. They're showing them clips. They're all sitting on a table on a panel, and the TV's in front of them. They're watching them. and John Smoltz gets hit in the middle of the back with a ball, and he's like thriving around on the ground rolling, and they are cracking up laughing at him like they are razzing him. And I thought that it was fun just to watch the video. I was getting cracked up.
Yeah,
but you were thinking about. You hit somebody with a ball, they're scared of you the next time they walk to the plate.
That's exactly right. That's
you hit them with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
Oh, you get Nolan Ryan out there and get hit by... And then Nolan Ryan, he never backed down.
Oh, no.
He's like, I don't care if you come out here to the mound trying to find me or not.
I got the ball, I'll throw it again.
What I don't understand is like if you've got a bat in your hand, why are you throwing it down and running out to the mound? Keep the bat in your hand.
Oh, well.
Go waylay on that head out there.
There are going to be lawsuits when you get done
Look,
with
if I understand if the ball slid a little bit and caught me inside and got me, that's one thing. But if you peg me in between the shoulder blades, you're meaning to do it. I'm taking the baseball bat with me out there. I'm beating you out there.
I'm just going to say, listen.
Yeah,
I got a persuader with
that's
me.
Right. That don't mean I'm going to hit you with it. But I am taking it up there for backup.
All
You just
right.
never know.
In case you start losing.
That's right. Right. You never know. When all his pals come in and start jumping on me, I need some help. All right, let's go into the bracket. All right, when this comes out, we're actually probably going to be almost done with the bracket. When's the...
I don't remember.
After the Final Four, I think it's... is it the 6th? 7th? It's something around that.
Jody, I hadn't followed. You asking me to do the bracket, I only completed it because...
Oh, it was like pulling teeth with you.
Because you told me I promised I was going to.
That's
the only reason.
Only got half of y'all to fill one out. So, so
let's see.
You're the half that did it.
Final Four is April 5th.
Okay.
Final Four is April 5th, and the national champion is April 7th. So
okay, so
today's the day.
All right, so
today's the day.
Yeah, so the championship's apparently tonight, and we're talking about what our bracket looks like.
My bracket.
And we're just starting the Sweet 16.
My bracket is busted already.
I know, mine too.
And I can tell you on April 7th, my bracket will not be right.
All right, so let's go over our Final Four.
I went with my heart, Jody.
Right.
I went with my heart.
So you're a big Georgia fan,
so
and like I said, ever since I met you. Apparently, I don't know what you've done to Auburn, but when it comes, now, I'm not saying Auburn football is this high and mighty thing, but we definitely have struggled since I've become to know you.
Yeah.
So I'm blaming you on that part of it.
Over the last 7 years, you're blaming a decade worth of bad football on me.
Because once we met, all of a sudden, Georgia's becoming national championships in football. All of a sudden, what's going on with that?
Maybe you're our good luck charm.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is. But except for now basketball. Now I always said I never would have thought Auburn would be known, and then they're eventually going to be known as a basketball team.
Yeah.
Because our football team I don't know. I think it's over. I really think it's over. It's never going to get. It's never going to.
That's doomsday.
It
right
peaked
there.
out in 2010 when we won. I think that's when we won the national championship. It only took 53 years, I think, to get another national championship. So
you're going to take a while to cycle back.
Yeah.
You may not see it in your lifetime.
I want to know who is. I didn't mean to get off on this tangent. What do you call it?
Yeah,
tangent. Is it tangent? I said tangent to begin with. What is tangent?
I don't know. I think you made up a word.
I think I did too. You know me. I don't know words. Anyway.
You just use them.
That's right.
Any way you want to.
But anyway, so let's go back to this. The best pick Auburn has ever done is Bruce Pearl by far. He's done more for Auburn than probably any coach ever, I think. Yeah, well, maybe Pat Dye. I don't know.
I don't even know y'all's coaching history that well. So, but y'all's team is good.
Yeah, yeah. We're.
Hey,
it's all about Bruce Pearl. I'm telling you, we have definitely. You will never get to see Auburn play in Auburn because of Bruce Pearl, because you can't get a ticket.
I was gonna say y'all are selling out.
Oh yeah, it's sold out. You can forget it unless you want it. And I looked at Atlanta for tickets for this thing right here.
Yeah,
$700 something a piece.
Woo.
Yeah, and it wasn't close either.
Would you pay that if you had?
If I had to just.
Yeah, just.
Oh yeah.
If you just like.
Absolutely.
If 700 was nothing in your world.
Yeah. If I didn't, if 700 is nothing to me, that means I don't have to go to work the next day either. That means I got money in my pocket and I got money in the bank. You know,
That's
and I don't have a job because I've either already retired or I've invested. Whatever it is, I'm good.
So in that case,
I'm
you're getting the hotel for the night.
Oh yeah,
too.
yeah. I'm getting a hotel before, the night before, and the night of. Yeah.
Going somewhere good to eat.
Yeah. So
This is an event now, Jody.
So you've got in your Final Four, you have Auburn,
Yeah.
Florida, Arizona, and Georgia.
Yeah.
Strike the Georgia, because I know you're a Georgia boy, so you had to go with the home team.
That's right.
And it just didn't work out this time.
They went out first round.
I know.
Round of 64.
I didn't. I was thinking they could at least make it.
I would have thought they would have survived a little longer than
I
that.
don't know why I thumped that over to your side.
I don't know either.
So I've
your
got.
team's losing.
I know. But you have Auburn and Georgia was going to be your final two.
Yeah, so is Arizona still in it? Is Arizona still kicking?
Yep.
See? All right.
Yeah, Georgia's your only downfall.
Yeah.
So you're still good.
I'm still.
And then mine was Auburn, Florida, Alabama, and Kentucky.
All right. Kentucky still in?
Yeah.
All right. So your Final Four still intact.
So then I've got Auburn and Kentucky, my final two. So
you got a chance.
Got a chance. We'll see what happens.
Hey, I saw a highlight that somebody's bracket was still completely intact, had a perfect bracket. Did you see that?
No, I thought all of them were busted.
It may be that they're all busted now, but the other day, because we were talking about it, my daughter had to do a bracket for school. The math teacher, they're going to do some kind of probability problem solving out of it. But right after we talked about that, I got online and I saw an advertisement that said there was one perfect bracket still intact, and that was earlier this week.
What's the chances? How can you do
I know. That's wild. Just to make it this far.
It's fun, though.
That's kind of cool.
I mean, do you not think it's fun to do a bracket? Is this the first time you did a bracket?
This is the first time I've ever done one.
I love doing a bracket.
I liked the digital version of it. That was kind of nice. I'd only seen paper versions of it in the past, and I don't think I took the energy to complete it all the way. I may have picked a few, but
if you've got to feel something, that's a lot of work.
that was what
I wouldn't do it.
That's what distracted me.
Yeah.
Deterred me from doing it in the past. It's like, oh, good grief.
Yeah,
But this one was just like winner, winner, winner. Yeah.
Oh, I would say 3 minutes.
Yeah,
have it done.
It didn't take me long because
No.
I definitely didn't have any rhyme or reason. I just looked at ranking usually when I was on there and go,
Yeah.
ooh, yeah, I'll take that one. So
All right.
I was really expecting, I was hoping for some upsets. I did pick a couple of Cinderella ones there, just thinking maybe they'd pull it out. I don't remember which ones I was in that.
Yeah, I don't have my phone. I picked
in that round of 64. I picked some that I just thought maybe they would do the Cinderella story.
I listened to a sports guy that talked about 3 teams that he thought would cause the upset in the first round. And so I went with all 3 of those.
Were they right?
And he was right. But
They all did the upset.
they did. I wish I'd have wrote down what they were too.
I wish you would have.
If
So
I had my phone in front of me, I could tell you.
Can I see?
Or let me see.
Can I see your bracket from there?
Well, I can just show me let me see the first 64 and I'll tell you. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Dead air.
That's where you use the sound cannon. You're going to edit this out anyway.
Let me see. Drake.
Okay.
Drake was one of them.
All right.
They beat Missouri. And
who predicted this? Who was your source? Somebody you were listening to on the radio?
Yeah, he's a Birmingham guy that does. He used to be on the Jocks. I don't know
Okay.
if you, let me see. McNeese. They beat
Ooh.
Clemson by 2. That was the second one. Where is the other one? There was a third now, and I don't know which one it is. But anyway,
Okay. All right.
get the idea.
Man, Georgia losing. Oh,
Hurt your heart, doesn't it?
first round.
Look,
Yeah.
y'all can't be good at everything. It's okay.
That's all right. I guess we'll let it slide. What would you have done if it was like a big upset? Like Tennessee got kicked out. They were playing number 15, Wofford. How bad would that have been in the?
I would have been like, it figures, because there's usually some big upsets. There really wasn't any big,
Yeah.
these were kind of little flukes or whatever. But if you'd have had some of these 1 and 2 seeds that like really just fell apart.
They were playing.
Yeah, it'd been
15, 16.
Yeah.
Say, all right, here you go.
Yeah.
You're out.
So
That other team's jacked and loses the next game.
does Kirby Smart? Do you ever see him at any? Do you know if he goes to the basketball games?
You see him at a few of them.
I mean, I know they
Yeah.
support most of the times. You see the head coach of the football team.
He's
go.
usually with his fam there,
Yeah.
like his son or kid or somebody, usually when you see a picture of it.
Did you see the
But I
one?
also see him landing on football fields all across the state of Georgia on a helicopter because all the high schools
High
post,
school?
all the high school pages post that usually, and he gets some traction when he lands, right behind kids kicking the field goal, and here comes the helicopter landing, marching bands out there, and Kirby's like walking off with check out a player, watches 2 or 3 plays, and jumps back on the helicopter. And I don't know that it's really. I think hopefully he watches the whole game, I guess, but.
So when it comes to recruiting now, how much has that changed when it comes to a head coach? Say like Kirby Smart.
Yeah.
Trying to recruit, since now you've got money that's being thrown around from all these schools. Are you just going to let that person know that, hey, I'm interested in you, and they're like, oh man, Kirby Smart, they're not worried about the dollar amount at this time, and it doesn't really matter about the dollar amount, you think? Or I would say like 80 or 90% of these kids are all about the money.
Oh, I would say they're making financially based decisions.
So why, if you're a head coach,
because you
coach,
still know you carry some clout. If
Yeah.
you're one of those top tier elite coaches.
But how much clout do you have now?
Oh, you got more than you think.
Think so?
I still say that you win a person over. If you got the right coaching mentality, you can inspire something in them to remind them that they love the game and why they got into it, and give them a little bit of intrigue that, hey, listen, I might be cool enough to ride in a helicopter one day, because the type of money they're talking about, it's not on a helicopter kind of money that you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's, hey, I'm set for life, but it's not. I'm going to be flying around on a private helicopter to watch 6 kids play on Friday night. It's
Yeah.
not that kind of money.
Yeah.
So I think there's still something to it. I did see a Cam Newton, speaking of your Auburn folks, I think it was Cam Newton in an interview that said the number one enemy to high school sports was the portal. He was talking like a room, looked like he's in a room full of students, and he said, hey, listen, the number one enemy against you guys is the portal. And then they showed a clip, the part I saw showed a clip of somebody saying that they wouldn't actually be recruiting this year, that they were going to stock their team from the portal. That they weren't going to spend their time going out trying to recruit new talent. They just go ahead and get people that were already in the league and build a team out of that.
Right.
What do you think about that?
Well, the portal's not good for anybody.
I don't like it.
He wants to say, hey, being a player, it's not good for you. Well, hold up just a second there, Cam. It's not good for the colleges either, because I'm spending my time or my money or whatever with
Both?
with this right tackle, this number one in the nation for whatever reason. And then he's just not happy because of practice or whatever. And he's entered the portal.
Oh, he's gone.
After 4 games, it's like, well, I mean, my feelings are hurt now, as a coach. It's like, so why do I think that the portal is such a great thing? It's not. It's the enemy. It's the enemy to both sides.
I agree. It's not good for anybody.
Yeah, I think if you look
It killed camaraderie. It killed loyalty to teams. It just created individuality. That's the only thing that's benefiting is somebody that's trying to self-promote.
Yeah.
That's the only way you win.
This is the way I look at the portal. The portal is a steel wall, right?
Okay.
And it's in between the schools and the players. And both of them's got guns. And they're shooting at the wall. And what's happened to that steel wall? It's ricocheting and it's coming back on them. That's all I look at it. That's what I think the portal is.
I can see
The
that.
portal needs to go bye-bye.
We do.
And
at least have a beginning date and an end date.
Yes.
No mid-season And then if you're transferring after 1 year, there's a penalty. There's a 6-game penalty when you go.
Something.
There's got to be some kind of something. Enough that hurts, too. 1 game ain't going to hurt you. 6 games, half a season. Now nobody wants you. If you got to set out half the season, they're not as interested in you going. I mean, it's got to be a pretty dire situation.
Yeah.
So
and there's got to be some kind of like salary cap. Some kind of deal. There's got to be money just can't flow. We just can't just keep throwing. We've got to like stop. This right here is as far as we go, and that's it.
Well, I mean, that's NFL has all of these things that we're talking about.
But when they set this up,
like free agency has a season, right?
When they set this up, it's almost like we didn't think nothing through. You cannot tell me when they did this, they just said, "All right, let's do it," and just like, "Here, let's see what happens." No, but that's the way it looks. It's almost like there's no boundaries, there's no guideline.
You're so close
nothing.
to what the NFL is doing. I don't know why you didn't just take a peek over there to see what they were doing. Oh, so y'all had like trade deadlines.
It's like they didn't get any advice. They've got all these people that's trying to, nope, we're good. No, you
salary
stay,
cap.
stay in
Never
your
heard
corner.
of that.
Yeah, we don't need salary cap. These are a bunch of kids.
How much money could we be talking
think?
about?
Yeah.
Now the money is just buckets of it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money out there. It's crazy the amount of money that gets tied up in some of these things. Wow.
I know.
Blows my
We
mind.
knew there was a lot of money when it came to NCAA sports, or especially football, but we had no idea until this right here. They should.
Well, y'all paid a coach off just to get him out of there, didn't you?
Yeah. But the thing about it is,
Wasn't a bad deal for him anyway.
No. Oh no. So they always talked about, hey, these schools are making all this money on jerseys because it's got so and so's number on the back. The quarterback, whoever, whether it's Tim Tebow or whatever like that. So they're just raking in all this dough. And they said, well, why can't any of the, players get some of this money? If you're making money off my number, off my jersey, then why can't I get a percentage and all that? Well, maybe at some point they should have done things like that. But my goodness, not go full blown like, let's just start writing checks to everybody.
I think that was a legitimate place to begin the argument that it's not right if you're highly successful, Jody, and all of a sudden I own all your rights and I just sell all your stuff with your name all over it, but you get nothing, zero,
right.
Supposedly zero out of it. Listen, you ought to get 50% of the profit off the shirt, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not 50. That may be a lot. You didn't pay to manufacture it. You didn't pay to get it in place. You didn't. But then again, if it's just got Josh's name on it, that jersey's sitting on a shelf not selling. So maybe 50's fair. 50% of profit. Why not do those kind of things?
Is that not called an incentive?
I think that's incentive based.
I think when you have a job, if there's a bonus at some point for what you've done throughout the year or what you've done throughout the quarter or whatever, it's an incentive to make you work harder. Well, if you turn this around to sports, even at the college level, you need to, yes, I agree with that, especially if you're talking about, hey, we get tutors, we can't go to class, we're traveling all the time, going to these games, we got practice and all this kind of stuff. Well, if you've got a kid that came from nothing, and how is he supposed to survive? He can't get a part-time job or anything like that because he's involved with athletics. All right, so I've always believed that they should at least give something to these players just for playing.
Yeah.
To be able to survive.
Get a little stipend.
Yeah, something.
Everybody on the team gets the same stipend.
Yeah.
Not based on sponsorship or anything like that.
But not brand new Chevy Camaros and
Lamborghinis.
And whatever it is. I don't know. But I saw one of them where it's basically just a lease that all the seniors would get to drive, whatever, like a Ford pickup truck for that year. Well, all of them was excited. And I'm like, look, guys, you're just driving around town. It's not yours. It's on loan, so don't get too excited. That to me is not an incentive. Don't give me something that I can only, I can
only get a taste of.
Yeah, it's not mine,
Oh. The coaches get that a lot of times. They get or at least I know that was the deal in Georgia. They had a partnership with Ford, and they're driving F-150s every coach in Georgia.
That's what, Alabama and Auburn did too. But then Nick Saban, he's got a Mercedes dealership, but he does Ford commercials. So I was like, okay. Think about it. Like, you got a guy making $9, $10, $11 million a year driving his Ford F-150 everywhere. Okay, sure.
I believe it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh. Can you?
If Toyota, if a Camry want to come and say, hey, if you'll drive this Camry, we'll give you X amount. Guess what? I'm driving a Camry.
I would.
Yeah.
I like a Camry.
Yeah, I do too.
That was actually what I wanted as my first car.
Really?
Believe it or not.
Camrys are nice.
That's what I wanted.
I do know one thing.
What's that? That makes me sound like an old guy, don't it? Like, I'm 18. Like, I'd like to get me one of them Camrys. My friends are like, "Oh, look at the Camaro," and I'm like, "It's not responsible."
If I could just get my hands on that Buick Park Avenue, like my grandmother had, and everything would be all right.
That thing was a tank. Couldn't take it out.
Hey, I remember like my grandparents had this. It was a Park Avenue. And I had the digital temperature gauge on the inside, and I thought, this is fancy.
I remember my grandparents' Cadillac. They had mirrors that flipped down in the back seat, like a sun visor kind of deal, where you could look at yourself and it had lights. And I thought that was the epitome of fancy back when I was.
That's how this was. It was like you had rear lights that you could like push a button. Like, that is unheard of. What is this? Like, this is the high life.
Woo!
I just want to sit in the back seat. I don't care where we go. I just want to sit in the back seat.
It felt cool, didn't it?
I know.
Oh, that's funny. What other things in a car, this is off subject, but that made you think it was fancy back then? Any other features that made you? Because that rear air conditioning, that's too new. That was not our childhood. That was, I don't know.
Yeah, but when that happened, though, that was a big deal.
That was a big deal.
Now, do you remember I know with my dad's he had a 69 Ford F-100.
Okay.
It might have been a 68, something around 67. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the high beams were on the floor. You had a push button.
I remember that.
And that's how you turned your high beams on and off.
I do. My grandpa had like I guess it was in that same model. Same F-150. F-100. I guess it was a 100.
Yeah, because it was the 100 series. They didn't have the 150s.
Yeah. That's the one that took my forehead out, too. It had a cracked, busted up plastic dash where it like dry rotted and started cracking. And my dad was driving, and I was standing in the seat, so I was a younger kid, and I fell. And when I did, it split my forehead wide open.
I've got a story like that. I was with my dad and my uncle, and we were going to a high school football game where they had graduated from.
Yeah.
And my uncle had a white Corvette. All right, and so I'm sitting in my dad's lap. Of course, nobody wears seatbelts or anything like that. Of course not, yeah.
Why would you?
I don't know. And I don't remember if we were going to the game or when we were coming back. But a dog ran out in front of the road, and my uncle slammed on the brakes. And I hit the dash. And that day, I think I was in 5th grade. 4th, 3rd, I don't know. Anyway, that day we played. You ever heard of bombardment? All right, it's where let me get into this real quick. It's like when you're in the gym and at half court, they put balls all the way across the thing. And
dodgeball?
It's like dodgeball, yeah. And when they blow the whistle, everybody's on each end, you know, like underneath the goal. And when they blow the whistle, you run up there, you grab a ball, and you just start waylaying on people.
Yeah.
Well, I got hit in the face and knocked my front tooth out that morning. This was on a Friday.
Okay.
Got my front tooth knocked out.
5th grade, that's a permanent joker.
Well, maybe not 5th grade.
Okay.
When I said 5th grade, I was like, I knocked my teeth out. I think I already had my.
Okay.
So maybe it's 3rd grade.
All right.
Whatever. When do you lose your front teeth?
Young. 3rd, 4th, 3, 4.
Okay, maybe that's it then.
You had permanent teeth. If you were in grade school, you had permanent teeth.
Okay, but these weren't permanent. Both my front teeth were a little loose.
Okay,
but
so
then they ended up. I lost both of them in one day. One of them from playing that bombardment, and then the other one was from the dash of a Corvette on a Friday night.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah.
They in the same day.
On the same day, yeah.
I'm looking it up. Children typically begin losing their baby teeth, around 6 or 7 years old, and the process continues until you're about 12.
So I was half the age of what I thought I was. I don't think I was like 12 years old sitting in my dad's lap in a Corvette, but
that's what
maybe I was. I don't know.
5th grade sitting in the laps, kind of. I mean, unless you were a small kid, maybe. But that's wild.
And I remember,
And you lost both of them same day. So
same day,
somebody
And-
busted you with a ball.
Yeah, and get this,
Spitting out blood. Please tell me you kept playing. Like you spit your tooth out and you like took the ball and
it was weird because the PE teacher,
Timmy out.
Miss Crump,
Okay.
she gave me a handkerchief, and it had her initials on it for me to put my tooth in and to hold, of course, where the blood was coming out. And I'm thinking now, like, who has that? I mean, who has a handkerchief with their initials on it? Especially a lady.
And who
You know,
gives it
she's
to
in,
somebody else to wipe up their blood?
She's like in sweat gear and all that stuff. I mean, why do you have? Did you like? I mean, where was? I don't
She's
know.
in her leisure suit. She's in that wind-breaking leisure
I
suit.
mean, did she run to a locker and say, "Oh no, I've got my handkerchief with my initials on it. I'm gonna give it to you. Wait 1 second."
Hold on just a second.
Yeah. So, but long story short is like
This is
she
before
got.
they invented paper towels.
I
Jay.
didn't. Yeah, I didn't know this until a few years ago. There was a plane crash, a local plane crash, and she was in it. She got killed in the plane crash. They had taken off, and it was too much weight at our local airport.
Wow.
And they clipped the trees and went down right after takeoff.
Years
I knew about-
after, years later.
Yeah, I knew about the plane crash, and then years after that, I found out it was her that was in it. I was like, my goodness,
Wow. Man. That's crazy.
it is. Well, that was a long reach,
That
wasn't
was,
it?
how did we get there? I don't even know. We were talking about coaching and driving
I don't know.
stuff, and now we're talking
know.
about fancy cars.
Yeah, they did away with bombardment, by the way.
I
Maybe I was the cause of that.
Maybe
I
so.
don't know. But you're not supposed to hit in the head or face, and I got that. And so
maybe there's hope that bag might go away. If games like bombardment can disappear, then maybe that colored bag.
no, you really think that?
No, I don't. I was just saying maybe 100 years from now,
Yeah.
somebody will look back and say, that was dumb. Who
Yeah.
put that there? We should just do it with 3.
That's right.
Let's go back to the old school ways.
That's right. All right, do you want to get on this other topic?
Let's do it.
We're running out of time. We'll see
I know.
if we can get these.
Go
you know,
ahead.
I've wore these glasses this whole time, and you've been blurry this whole time.
I wonder why you were like,
And then now I'm about to read. I've got my glasses off, and I'm like, maybe I need to-
all right, so we had 2 more stories we were going to try to cover. Let's see if you can cover them.
let's do this. Cause grow in Serbia for investigation into claims sound cannon targeted protesters. What they're saying is there's this big protest over in Serbia. It's 200,000 to 300,000 people. They're saying there's some people that died at a train station. If I'm not, I think that's right. And we've got the sound to it here in a second. We'll play it. But so there's protests. They're protesting out in the street. They're talking about corruption with the government, all this kind of stuff. And apparently, if you see this video, all these people, they're just lined up in the streets and on the sidewalk. And we looked at it just a minute ago.
Yeah, there's like hundreds of thousands of people.
Yes, lots of people.
Maybe not just in that area we see in the clip, but across the town there is.
And they just, all of a sudden, you see them scatter out of the streets and go straight to the sidewalk. Like, what is going on?
It's almost like they look down the street and see something coming and decide, I need to get out of the way.
That's right.
That's kind of what it looks like. But at least in the footage we see, there's nothing coming down the street.
Yeah.
You know, if you've ever seen people in the street and then a guy in the dump truck blows his horn, all of a sudden, like, we were like, got to get out the way.
That's right. That's right.
Time to move.
Yeah.
I didn't mean that anyway insensitive. I'm just saying. That's the way.
Nothing you
kinda-
say is insensitive.
I know.
So we'll play this and then we'll talk about what we think.
Okay.
Let's talk about an incident in Serbia. Footage has emerged showing what appears to be a military-grade sonic cannon being used to disperse protesters in Serbia. Now, it's claimed that riot police deployed the weapon to demonstrators who'd gathered in Belgrade to stage a massive protest against government corruption. Let's take a look.
All right. So there's.
Serbia's president has denied that the crowd control device was deployed, saying that it is a wicked lie. I mean, what do you make of all of this?
Well, there is some footage of the Serbian police with something that looks very like a long-range acoustic device, an LRAD as it's called. Those things can be used to communicate with protesters, but they can also be used to try and disperse protesters. So the denials seem not to be backed up by imagery that shows they had a device like that. But the bigger issue, of course, is the Serbian protests have been going since November. And
All right. So the people do, I just called it in that one. So the people are in the streets and there's sidewalks. So, I mean, it's a busy city street. Something happens and almost instantly the people all run to the sidewalks. And then after a matter of a few seconds, they do start filtering back onto the sidewalk. I mean, back off of the sidewalk, back into the street. Had you noticed that they come back?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
But like
it's obviously not a sustained something that's happening.
So I don't know exactly how this sound cannon, whatever they want to call it, works. Now, I've seen, it's like a pulse thing device they send out. I've seen it that our government has. I've seen these little experiments they do showing whatever. But when it points in a certain direction, it's like ear piercing. Basically you can't do anything besides trying
Kind
to
of
cover
crippling.
your ear.
You
Yes,
just want
yeah.
it to stop.
And I think with these, that apparently there's some long-term effects. Not saying weeks or months after, but just a day or two of dizziness, lightheaded, whatever it is. But my point being is, so I don't know exactly what this looks like they're talking about, but if I'm shooting that thing, the way it looks like you're going to shoot it down the road. Say if you shot it down the center of the road, wouldn't these people try and get away from it so they'd go further down the road instead of going, side to side to the sidewalk? You know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying. Like, your first instinct would be run further away from it, not run side to side. I got to get out of the beam.
It's like it's coming at me, so I'm going the opposite way.
So, like, if you knew how it worked, then yeah, side to side is actually the smarter plan. You might could get out of it, but I don't think you would instinctively know that. And being these sound cannons aren't really something that we talk about a whole lot, I don't think the public knows about it a whole lot. Do you? I mean, I don't think it's something that nobody knows about, but also I don't think it's common knowledge for everybody. Thinking, oh, sound wave hit my ear that I don't like. I need to move to 100 yards to the left or 100 yards to the right.
Do you think it's instinctive? If you're out in the middle of the road, if I'm out in the middle of the highway, we're protesting, whether it's day or night. If something happens, are you instinctively going to the sides instead of going down, either up, forward or backwards down the road?
Yeah.
So maybe that's why everybody went to the side, maybe?
Maybe.
But you didn't see anybody in that video going, like, running down the road. You saw them running towards the sidewalk. So
Yeah,
they were
everybody.
clearing out of the road.
They were definitely
So
clear.
I don't understand how that would make you do that.
It doesn't make sense for the sound cannon idea to me. What I also noted is I was trying to watch, and the videos are all kind of far. You don't see anybody. I didn't see anybody reaching for their head, and I think that would be your first instinct. Would be, I want to cover my ears.
Yeah.
If something, even if I'm in an atmosphere where the music's loud, and sometimes it'll hit a frequency that'll make my ears kind of vibrate. My gut instinct is to kind of tuck my ear into my shoulder.
Duck down, something like that.
Yeah, I think that seems to be my first instinct when it gets to frequency or vibration that I don't like, I want it to stop, so I'm covering my ears.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think it could come from above. If it came from above, I would think that, yes, they're going the way they maneuver in the street. That makes sense. But I don't see how, because
they're saying it was on that car, that police car that they show riding through. They seem, at least the report that was the BBC was doing theirs.
Yeah, was that the actual car that they're talking? Or was
I don't
it
know.
Just footage.
That was the footage they were showing. But
okay, I didn't know when I saw that. I didn't know how to take that.
I was trying to look at it to see, but I didn't see anything on the car.
Yeah,
on the police vehicle.
But they say numerous governments in all these countries use these tactics for demonstration purposes and kind of protesters to control riots.
So how do you feel about it? the use of this on a crowd?
I think that when is it going to go to locals? And now your local sheriff's department have this gear to control any kind of whatever it is. I don't know.
This is better than getting shot with a beanbag round, isn't it?
I would say you can control people really quick.
Don't you think
with
this
that
is
right
a
there
better tactic?
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying I'm all in. I need to know what all it does. But if it makes you feel a little bit sick to your stomach for 2 or 3 days, I'm saying that's better than having to have a bunch of people arrested or getting somebody hurt.
If you don't have any long-lasting effects,
Yeah.
of course, this right here would be the way to go. But I'm just saying, it's like, so when do they? All right, now we're just using it for. We never bring it out. But listen, I'm the government
Okay.
talking. We don't bring this out. We just have it, just in case. All right, and then what happens? There's some kind of protest. People get a little rowdy. We've brought it out. We used it that one time. Oh, a couple years later, something.
Oh.
Now we're bringing it out all the time. When does it stop? Now, when the minor things start happening, are we bringing it out then? When will it stop?
Somebody jaywalks, you blast them with the pistol version of it.
Yeah, you're speeding. You're speeding. The cop gets behind you, and they're afraid that you're not going to slow down. So instead of just lighting you up, they're going to shoot a wave of sonic boom, whatever. at you.
Neutralize the car for
that's
a second.
right. Hey, I did. Speaking of that, I did see. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I watch all these cop interactions
Yeah.
on YouTube. I tell you this all the time. But it was a state trooper that they do these pit maneuvers when somebody tries to run or whatever. After so long, they'll finally hit them in the bumper,
Yeah.
twist, turn them, whatever. Hey, let me tell you something. Some of these are questionable. They're doing like 130 and they do a pit maneuver. Nothing good happens. Let me tell you. All you're doing is rolling
I was
over.
gonna say, you're
and
rolling.
You're seeing bodies flying out of cars.
Oh, my
That's all I'm saying. Between that and then I watched one to where the guy this guy didn't even get half a mile down the road. There's nowhere to turn or anything like that, and the cop behind him just goes ahead and hits him. It's like,
Yeah, I am not putting up with this today.
That's right. In my mind, I'm like, dude, you just give him a chance to pull over. Man. You didn't give him nothing. Maybe he hadn't even noted, hadn't looked in his rearview mirror. Give him some time. All right, but what I'm saying is they have some kind of pulley system. It was like they came up and when they hit the back of the car, it was like some little claw thing hooked up onto the bumper. And guess what? You're not getting away now.
Oh, wow.
I thought, what are they going to come up with next?
Have you seen the ones that wrap around the wheels? Have you seen that? It's this little arm that deploys out of the front of the car. It's like it's on the bumper and it kind of comes out.
You're talking about like a chase?
Yeah. And it's got this propulsion system where you get it up near the tire and you shoot it out and it wraps around the wheel and then anchors it back to the other car.
So you're telling me that we have high-speed chases are so bad in the U.S. that we've got to get with a company to develop this technology.
I'll have to show you this. I'll look this up when we're not
this
on.
is crazy.
When we're not recording,
Oh,
I'll
my
show you the
goodness.
video.
Why don't we just? I would rather like the passenger cop stick out his head out the side window and start firing at the back tire. Why don't we just do that?
That's what they do in all the cop shows.
I bet that's cheaper.
Hey, I thought about you. I had I have two comments, 3 comments technically. But I thought about you on our recent trip. Me and my family were on a road trip, and I was genuinely.
Thanks for telling me, by the way.
I was genuinely cleaning my windshield. Like bugs were on, and I was cleaning it. There was a Tesla that was just like right on my bumper.
And you wanted to key it.
No. So I spray my windshield wiper because I'm genuinely trying to.
Yeah.
And next thing I know, the Tesla's windshield wipers are on, and he falls back, 2 or 3 car lengths off of me. And I thought of you in that moment. I was like, "This is Jody's tactic for tailgating."
I'm telling you, if anybody gets too close and it's riling you up, the best thing to do is
Hit the
just
windshield wiper
hit the
fluid.
windshield wiper fluid and look in your rearview mirror, and you'll see here in a minute they're going to start using their windshield wipers, and they'll
funny.
fall back.
It was funny. Like he fell way back.
I know.
It was. I did not use it intentionally for that, but it was.
But it worked.
It was a fun one.
So see, that is it. Coming from me, you would think I'm all about aggression, right? I'm like, I try and hold back, but I get mad sometimes. All right. This is the best way to stay
it's kind
calm.
of a passive aggressive version.
That's right. That's right. There's no need reaching for your pistol because somebody's on your bumper. Just hit the little windshield wiper thing.
Just
and
give them a
everybody-
little.
That's right.
Little nudge. And
I
they'll
call
go,
it give them a little love.
I'm a little closer than I probably should have
Yeah,
been.
yeah. So
So I thought about you. This is not in the same area, but talking about that. Have you ever stopped at? We were on the turnpike in Florida, and they have the service stations that are in the middle. So on the turnpike, there's not exits that go off. There's a service plaza, is what they call it, in the middle. So from both directions, you all merge into this one area. It's a gas station and
that's new to me. I
convenience
didn't know.
store and all this kind of stuff. But pulling in, there was a sign that said windshield washing area, automatic windshield washer. So I decided I was going to check it out. And there's this diamond. It says pull your car over the diamond. So you pull your car. And there's a pole over there. And it has like a sprinkler head sprayer that's pointed right at your windshield. And you just sit there and it works its way left to right. Sprays your windshield off. You can turn your wipers on while it's on there. And it's a high pressured windshield. Then when you drive off, the water cuts off. Loved it. I did it both ways just because I enjoyed doing it. I was like, the first time I tried, I was like, I kind of like it. So I used it as one last ditch effort before I left. I didn't even need to use the bathroom. Just hit the windshield washer fluid, jump back on the turnpike.
what's next?
It was.
I mean, how bad have we gotten?
I'm gonna record it.
I mean,
for
that's
you.
great, yeah.
I'm gonna record this so you can enjoy it.
Why did you not record it to begin?
I don't know why
What
I
is the
did.
deal with? How come? All right, maybe it's just me,
You're better at this than the
but
rest of us.
anything that happens, I'm like instantaneously, I'm reaching for my phone.
You do.
It's like
You
I'm gonna
think
video.
I should record this.
I got home this evening, and I heard, I have ringing in my ears called tinnitus. You
didn't get hit with an air cannon.
I don't know, but over that, I heard in the distance, and I thought, that's a helicopter. And so I was getting on my flight radar,
That's right.
app, and as I'm doing that, I'm heading out the door, getting my phone ready and everything, and it was a Chinook.
Yeah.
And well, of course, because
I saw the
seen you
video.
the video. Yeah, so I ran out there, and that thing's bebopping right down the water, and then it turns. It was pretty cool.
I thought he was fixing to send somebody into the water the way it was turned sideways. I kind of thought.
It turned
Somebody was
sideways.
gonna
Did you
jump.
see the back of it? The back. What do you call that back? I was going to say
Door?
drawbridge, but
Yeah.
it's not. But the door, it was creeped down halfway. I thought it was coming down. So I thought,
I guess
man,
they're
this
just
might
letting
get
some fresh
interesting.
air
But
in.
I don't know. But it was cool.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
I don't know why. I don't know. I always, anything that happens,
You think record it.
I just think record it. Yeah.
So I don't. And the other thing that I was going to comment on was this whole this whole sound cannon. It's reminding me of those air cannons. Do you remember they sold these a few years ago? They were a toy. They're about a 12 and a half, 13-inch diameter. Has a little handle on it. And it's just got a little plastic piece with a rubber band. And you'd stretch that rubber band back. And when you'd let it go, it would hit a blast of air out.
No, I didn't know this.
This was a fun toy, and I was thinking that's the individualized version of this. Yeah. So like you could have a candle 50 feet away, and you pull that thing back, and it just shoot a blast of air out, and it was fun to hit.
Oh,
people.
so it's just like wind.
It's just
It's like
wind.
a small pocket of wind. You're just
Yeah.
puffing out there.
Yes.
Oh, that's neat.
So it was kind of fun to mess with somebody.
Yeah.
You'd hit them with a puff of air. They're like, where'd that come from?
So that was just a small thing, just for a time.
It was just
Was it like a fidget spinner?
yeah,
you know?
except for giant.
Do you remember the fidget spinners?
do remember
How big those things.
They
were.
took off, didn't they?
Yes, yes.
Let's see if I can find I called it an air cannon. I don't know what you would actually call it. Yeah. So they make, I'm on Amazon now. Let's see if I can get one shipped to us.
I'll take it.
Look right there. It looked
Oh,
just,
that's nothing like what I was expecting.
it just looked just like that. And you would, let's see if there's a video. But it has that little cord and a little plastic. You draw it back and then poof, it hits them with a puff of air.
Oh, that's neat. I like that.
So you can have one by Monday if we ordered right now.
Amazon's amazing. Isn't it?
We could get you one.
We're so spoiled.
I know.
You know,
We don't even wait for nothing now.
as a society, we're just spoiled. I can remember when it
If
took.
if we have to wait 2 days, we're like, good grief,
I know,
2 days
yeah.
shipping? That's ridiculous.
I know we need to go, but look, this last story I've got, and if you got anything else. But I can remember when I was young, I wasn't fifth grade, young,
All
like
right.
we were talking about a minute ago.
Still have your front teeth?
Oh,
Or don't
yeah.
have your
I
front
did
teeth?
have my front teeth. Were you big into G.I. Joe?
I did. I love G.I. Joe.
All right, so you know when you got the proof of purchases on the back of the toys, do they still have proof of purchase? Do you remember it was around the UPC code?
Yeah, I
you cut
remember
it
this.
out and you
I remember, but I don't think it's anything.
I don't think
now.
they do that anymore.
Yeah.
Which I couldn't tell you the last time I bought a G.I. Joe either, so I don't know. So you send in these proof of purchases, and I had like a magazine or something, but it was going to be a parachute pack that you put on the back of a G.I.
Oh, yeah,
Joe
okay.
thing, and it was like going to be so cool. And it was like 6 to 8 weeks for delivery. Now this is back in the day, right?
Yeah.
And I promise you, it was like had a calendar like
You're like checking the days off.
checking the days, and like that 6th week it hadn't came in, and like that 7th week and then one day, guess what? In the mailbox,
Oh, it came.
there it was.
Oh.
And it was the worst little parachute pack. Let me tell you, did not work. I don't know. I just had my hopes up, but
Busted.
it was just terrible. It just didn't work. I was expecting the dude to throw him up in there and he just floats real
Oh,
gingerly
yeah.
down to the ground.
No.
It didn't work. So,
Just a little cheap plastic bag. You could have put a sandwich bag on him and done better.
that's right. That's right. Well, I enjoyed this anniversary time with you, Josh.
We should have lit a candle or something. Should have.
You know, we should have.
Should've set the
We
mood.
should have got a number one.
That's right, we
And,
should have.
let it burn the whole time that we were.
Could
tell
we
you-
have ate cake with our hands? You know, you're supposed to let your little
Oh, yeah.
kids eat
We could have
cake.
done
with-
that. I tell you what, we'll re-record this. We'll do it all over again, and we'll get a candle and some cupcakes.
That's all right. There's always birthday number 2.
That's right. But we do. Everybody that's listened throughout this year, we do appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And then those that watch on YouTube and TikTok and wherever else,
Thank
we
you for
do
watching.
appreciate it. We really do. We hope you keep growing this thing. We like doing it.
That's right.
We just have a hard time getting.
We'll
together
light the
doing it.
candle and burn it for Spencer and not even tell him why. Let him figure out why we have a number 1 candle.
Yeah, we'll say, hey,
Next episode.
we'll say, you know what? You need to listen to the last episode, and you'll know.
You'll know why we're burning this candle.
All right, we're not going to get to our last. 2 weeks I've tried to get to this story. There's a guy that is captured or caught up in his house in a room for 20 years because of his stepmom.
Let's lead with that one
And
next
it's a
week.
great story, and I'm dying to get to it.
Lead.
And it's going to be 3 weeks before we get to it.
Lead up with it next week.
We will. We'll
Let's do
talk
it.
about it. All right, we appreciate you listening. Listen to our next episode when you might hear Josh say,
Happy anniversary.
"Okay."